Well, hello everybody. Hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Is where words do come to life. Look, I'm not all that knowledgeable about different laws. I'm not all that knowledgeable about the ins and outs of things. But as of late, we know that election time is coming up, right? And we already know that the governor, our present governor, has slotted that he's going to run again. And so, with election time rising, things start to turn. Um, Laws start to be signed. And you try to make this little headway like you really doing something or try to make the people believe that you're making an impact to change a wrong that's been wrong for 400 plus years. But the change that's being made is not, it's a minute change. But the things that need to be addressed are not being addressed. So I got this email, and it's from the state's attorney, Kim Fox's office. And it tells me, in case I missed it, Governor Pritzker signed several landmark criminal justice reform bills into law. One of these bills, Senate Bill 2122, bans police officers from lying, using other deceptive tactics on minors during interrogation. And then they go on to say this is a major step. Well, it took me back to When They See Us, and everybody saw When They See Us. The five boys who was underage that spent years in prison for a crime they did not commit, and everybody that was in authority allowed those boys to go to jail and steal their life. And so, with that being said, for me, how do we trust our system to be fair and true? For me. And it seems to be that it's only those of color who suffers the most. Now, although this is a good thing because no police officer, nobody of authority, no state's attorney, whoever it may be, has the right to interrogate a minor. There are laws against minors getting drinking. There's laws against minors getting driver's license. They have to go through the parent. If you're getting a permit drive, you have to have a licensed driver in the car with you. So why don't these laws carry over into our judicial system? Now, this is not nothing new. This has been going on for a long time. And so she goes on to say how she was honored to join him and the stakeholders as he signed the legislation. They was deeply moved to hear from victims of wrongful convictions. And it's good to hear from them because those families go through a lot. But the thing is, these mistakes have been made year after year after year. And they're telling their stories, making sure generations have the protection that they did not. We still don't have the protection. We still don't have the protection. And so, but then it goes on to list out Senate Bill 2129, which allows the state's attorney to petition for resentencing of an offender under certain conditions. So if you're doing criminal justice reform and then you go back into resentencing of an offender under certain conditions, what are those conditions? What are those conditions? We already had a 3-strike rule, you're out. We already had a 1-strike rule. If you're black, you ain't right. If you're black, you go to jail. If you're black, you committed a crime. If you're black, you're labeled as a threat to society. And so then she goes on to list out House Bill 3587, which creates the Resentencing Task Force Act to study ways to reduce Illinois' prison population. Now, Wrongful conviction and deceptive practices hurt victims and deeply fracture the community confidence in law enforcement. When we take the steps to look at our past, revisit sentencing, and correct wrongful practice, we can build trust and create equal criminal justice reform. The work is not yet over, but the work has not yet begun. Y'all haven't done nothing. You made a little bitty, not even a full step, not even a half a step, maybe less than a fourth of a step. And you think you deserve a pat on the back for this? Really? You don't deserve no pat on the back for that. You don't. It's your job, your due diligence, your service to the community to make sure that those individuals that you have confined to um, the prison system in this state, that they are be treated fairly. So what happened to the word you're innocent until proven guilty? Now you're guilty and you got to fight for your innocence. So this is a minor step. I don't count this as a great reward. I don't count this as a great win. I don't count this as a pat on your back. I don't count this as something you should be proud of. You should have been doing this a long time. It's way overdue. But what you should start at is what the problem is. Cook County Jail and your office is the holder and the accountable parts who have those individuals just sitting there. And I just found out yesterday um, from someone, and I think we're going to be doing a round table, that there is an individual that's been sitting in Cook County Jail for 9 years. What is the statutes of limitation? It don't take nobody 9 years to figure out if a person is innocent or guilty. But it only becomes difficult when it's black and brown. Now answer that question. Why is that? Because you have all the evidence, you have all the tapes, you have all the testimonies. You've done your due diligence. You know how the situation went. You know how it didn't go. So why do you all continue the court? Why do you have, we're still reaching for discovery, or we're still trying to pull files? Why is it only for the black and the brown? White folks commit the ultimate crime, shown on video. Guns, assault rifles held in their hotel room, and they get to go home. Again, Kyle Rittenhouse caught on videotape, even though people chimed into my video and said he was protecting himself. There's a lot of black folks that was trying to protect themselves, but they're locked up today still. So what are you all saying in this justice system? So you're saying white folks can do any crime they want, even if it's displayed on video. You will speed up the process. You will provide them a bond. They get to go home to their families, and then our loved ones get to sit in here and wait for y'all to twiddle y'all fingers and y'all toes before you decide to let them go. There should be a statute of limitations on everything. But there only a statute of limitations on what the white people do. And I'm calling it as I see it. But when it comes down to black and brown, we don't have no limits. Why? And then you all come up with these little grandstand things and think you have done something. You ain't done nothing. You haven't done anything. Family members want to see their loved ones come home. You're holding up the process. If you have not solved a case in a year's time, then those individuals need to be released. What are you holding them for? I think and I believe, from what I've been hearing and from what I've been experiencing, you all hold them in there for a purpose. First of all, the dollar sign is on their head. Second of all, you don't give a damn about their innocence or guilty. And third of all, justice is blind. The scales of justice for black and brown is unbalanced. Again, the same crime you have 90% of the black and brown locked up for. If they were white people, like the insurrection at the Capitol on the 6th of January, that people are still running free with their family, taking trips, ain't got no electronic monitors on their ankles or none of that. They're still running free. And on bond, eating meals, sleeping in their own bed, taking good hot showers, and riding around enjoying the good hot weather. But ours, they're sitting in a nasty facility eating dog food and got to watch their back at every opportunity. You have some guards that's good, and you have some guards that don't give a damn. They're just nasty as hell. And you all know this. And so for me, all the people that I blame that holds accountability is your governor. I blame the state's attorney, Kim Fox. I blame Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. I blame Tom Dart. I blame Chief Judge Timothy Evans. I blame those individuals who has the power to make sure that everybody is treated fairly, and you don't. See, we've not been treated fairly for a long time. A long time. This ain't just started. You all look out for everybody else's interests except for the black people. We got to fight for everything. Now I'm going to do another video because I see, our president wrote a bill for a hate crime for Asian people. I see now you're pushing for leverage for the LGBTQ community. But black people have been enslaved. Black people have been misused. Black people have been treated unfairly. Black people have dealt with police brutality. We have a long list of things that we deal with. We've dealt with racism. We've dealt with being prejudged without knowing all the facts just because we're black. But the same people that judge us are the same people that sit their asses on the beach, that sit their asses in the tanning bed to try to get this lovely brown complexion that do not peel. So you don't like us, but you want to be like us. That don't make sense. And then you want us to swallow what you try to force down our throat as being justice and as being fair. Now, you talking about a historical justice reform, clean out the jails. Be fair about that. If you have not sent nobody to court or trial in a year, then something is wrong with this picture. Then you all don't know how to do your job at all, because it don't take nobody that long. You're robbing families. You're putting them in financial hardship intentionally, not thinking how you're destroying younger kids from being detached from their parents, female or male. And then some of the horror stories I heard from some women of what happened to them when they are incarcerated. Y'all need to be slapped 6 feet below the ground. And you know this. All them cameras in it, you cannot convince me that you all are not aware of the things that go on inside those walls. A judge is gonna sit on the bench without even reading or knowing the facts to a case before you commit somebody to maximum security? How you do that? How? But yet and still, the young man who came from another state here in a hotel room with all the assault rifles, he got to go home on a mediocre bond, $10,000. Now let's flip the script. If he had been a black man, ain't nowhere in the hell he left that hotel room and went home. Y'all have thrown him up under jail with probably $150,000 bond, and he wouldn't be able to get out. And y'all have left him sitting there until, you got your discovery, and then, you did your due diligence and doing your research. We see this played out every day. And yet you all continue to say that we are a historical criminal justice reform. It ain't no historic. When you do your due diligence, what is right to do, then maybe a small, minute percentage we may consider. But until then, you get no brownie points. And if this is what you think you're going to lean on for re-election, you got another thought coming, because it's not happening. It's not. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are the only generation of people that nobody fight for us, but you depend on us for everything, especially our vote. And you figure you spoon feed us a little BS. We're supposed to swallow and be okay with it. And we're not. We're not swallowing it, and we're not okay with it. We still have the Breonna Taylor incident that has not been cleared up. We have a lot of incidents that's been noted, been videotaped. And the sad part, if we didn't have videotape, if nobody was courageous enough to record, where would we be? It's like us back 400 years ago. It's our word against the master's word. And right today, you done changed out the cotton fields for the prison cells. That's what you have done. But LGBT community, they get to be free and covered. Asians get to be free and covered. White people are free and covered. And black people, no, we are criminalized. We are penalized for the color of our skin. We're just guilty no matter what we do. If we drive a decent car, we already prejudged. We got to be drug dealers. If we buy a home, you don't want us to live in certain communities because you feel like we're going to bring down the property value. These ain't United States. I'm talking from the bottom of the pole all the way to the White House. The building that black people put their heart, sweat, and tears in. But we still can't get no coverage and we can't get no protection, and we are not treated fairly even in 2021. And until you all change, you think COVID is a second strand is hitting, God ain't pleased. You know why? Because he knows the heart of those individuals who sit in the seat and say they serve people and they're doing their due diligence to be right and they're being to be fair, and they're not. You're lying. And I'm calling you all liars. When we see the change that needs to happen, then maybe we'll consider. Until then, I pray that God have mercy on every last one of y'all, because a reckoning day is coming. Just like you make somebody's family suffer, your time is coming. I'm just saying. You reap what you sow. Karma is real, and this is not a threat. It's not. But you can't continue to treat people wrong and unfair. Keep them confined and locked up. Don't give them proper medical care. Don't treat them properly. Don't feed them properly. They on the phone. They got to take one towel and keep sanitizing the phone. And you know there's a second strand of COVID coming out here. And y'all don't care. But yet and still Tom Dart will get on TV talking about we're making sure that the inmates are safe. You're a lie. Statesville didn't have no water. No drinking water. And nobody addressed that. I haven't heard no news media address it. Nobody. So, but you want to stand up here like you concerned about the people. You're not concerned about the people. You're concerned about yourself and that check that you get it. And every office should have a 2-year limitation. Period. And if you cannot do your job as an elected official, then you all need to be critiqued like we're critiqued when we lose our employment. We need to define how much you should get when you come out of office. And so you all understand how we feel as citizens and how you do us. How would you like that? All right. That's all I'm saying. Like, comment, and subscribe. Think about it. It's coming. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Reality Is Where Well, that completes another episode of Reality Is, where words do come to life. I hope that you have enjoyed the conversation that we talked about. Please leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you too can know when I upload other videos. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Until we talk again.